What up, Works? How we doing? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Where was... This is what I'm looking for. Where's the repo? Here we go. I want to read this repo. What up, y'all? What? How the hell did we get a 503 there? She's at work, Nightshade. New chat overlay, or have I missed something? I think it's the same chat overlay, isn't it? Or do I normally keep the chat overlay off, or do we keep it on? I never remember. I feel like we decided to turn it off when I moved my... Do you guys like it on? Because like we can move it. Yeah, it definitely hasn't been on. So I can like move it up to like here. And that should go right up to where... Do I keep it on screen or do I keep it off? I need opinions. All right, yeah, it does. All right, do we want the chat on screen or do we want it off? All right, we'll keep it. Oh, what is this runtime? Yo, what is that? What does that do? Takes a type. Returns a self that extends runtime. And a provider. This is kind of novel.
Functions describe the world.
This is actually pretty clever. This is cool. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Check 2cc. This is cool. All right, so he took a dependency on itty. All right, and client. This is clever. That one pattern is really smart. Whoa. All right, what is this saying? This is an overloaded function, possibly? Yeah, so here's one of the overloads. Here's the second overload. So if we focus on one, it's a function that takes a resource and props and returns in any binding that has is custom true. And then or that's what f is. And then it's a function that takes a runtime that has some return. It pulls the return type from the function and plucks out the runtime key. Okay. Okay, I can follow this. Yep, that makes sense. I like it. That's so cool. It's so cool. What are you doing? All right, so infrastructure's effect has three main concepts: resources, functions, and bindings. Resources are the underlying infrastructure components. SQSQ or DynamoDB table. Functions contain the business logic as an effect running in some runtime. All right, so that's like the function is the runtime code that uses your resources, and then bindings connect functions to resources. Good morning, y'all. You know what is also smart playing? I'm not streaming from my Xbox. I don't even know how to do that. Infrastructure and business logic can be encapsulated as a component using a simple function. So we create a monitor as an ID. It takes own alarm and unresolved. Yeah. Ah. Reusable infrastructure. Oh, dude, Sam wrote IDI AWS. I didn't realize that. Interesting. All right. Hello, Mr. Unemployed Triangle Man. Hello, hello. Sorry, I went down a. I'm very interested in where this project's going. All right, let's see how Claude's doing. Claude should be cooking. We need to run our server. Let's restart the server. 5173. All right. We've got buttons. Alert. Does the alert work? Alert dialog. Cool. Toast. Toast works. Hey, you said you're going to work at a big company next. Are you going working for the big M? I don't know what M equals is. I don't know what the joke is. Guys, we got like some nice components here. This is kind of fracked, but yeah. Oh no. I'm going to work for Cloudflare. Where did these come from? Why are there no templates? What up, no? I don't think it like some of these look pretty good though. I'm not gonna lie. I like some of these. So we're going to come over here and we're going to come here and I'm going to check my context. What up, phone? Context. It's probably mostly used. Probably cooked. Yep. So let's compact. I'm not going to put fries in the bags. Unfortunately, I am sticking with my cloud computing arc. So we want to give it instructions here for like decompose the pages down into templates and organisms that are domain specific, e.g. recipe, app, components. Okay. So you are already employed? No, I start the 17th. That's kind of nice. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I fucks with it. Asking for a friend, what would you do if you had to get $5,000 quick? I don't know. Like $5,000. If I needed $5,000 liquid cash, I would take a loan against my permanent life insurance. I made this with Claude. I basically generated a bunch of components to start building with. Effect is so nice. Now I wish I could do it at work. That's how it happens. It depends. This time I did. I like it because it like gives me good like Lego pieces to like. I'm not very good at like just like design on my own. So like I like giving myself some visual space and pieces to like kind of get an idea of what I want to do. Start building, Crispy. There's no shortcuts. You gotta build and struggle and fail. I gave Claude the section from Brad Frost's Atomic Design book on atoms, molecules, organisms, templates, and pages. All right, let's refresh over here. Why are there no templates? This right here. I think I gave it this parts of this chapter. So like I grabbed from here, and then I think I just copied and pasted down. I don't know. Down to like here. My mom is really into making sourdough bread. Ah, so there were templates. Oh yeah, I originally generated like a simple app on Replit, and then I cloned that locally and said, let's use this theme. I used it to generate a theme, um, and then I basically had Claude make a component library out of the theme. Thoughts on V0? I like V0. I just ran out of credits. I lost my free V0 when I became not employed at Vercel anymore. Uh, on recipe detail template. Free 0. My grandfather told me once that anything free is worth saving up for. Same here. Claude's doing good. Bro, we are cooked right now. Let's try restarting. See if we're just caught up in like some weird caching or if there's actual bugs here. There we go. Nope. I do not work for Vercel anymore. Oh my god. What did this thing do? Winnie. Leave on good terms or not, if latter is the reason being kept quiet, or no, I left on good terms. I got a better opportunity at Cloudflare. I'm stepping into a role with more responsibility, um, just a wider breadth and depth of technical stuff, um, better pay, yeah. Um, well, for like, you have to, there's trade offs, right? Like, Cloudflare and Vercel are very different companies. One's already public, one is still private and working towards IPOing. So you have to weigh in terms of like the equity, right? You have to weigh um, RSUs that can be basically cashed out as soon as they're vested versus that would be at Cloudflare because they're already public versus RSUs or options at Vercel that you either have to wait for another liquidity event, like a fundraising round, like Series F just happened, and their employees who were there longer than a year could, cash out some. Um, Otherwise, you have to wait for an IPO. And like where I'm at in life, like it is more important for my financial goals to be able to liquidate and realize money sooner. How do you know how much you are worth? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like net worth or like how to like negotiate salary and stuff? I really like Cloudflare's products. Yeah, I think there's a lot of room for Cloudflare to develop their developer platform and workers, and I also think there's a lot of room there for me to kind of grow my engineering chops and engineering leader skills, like your skills, knowledge, etc. Can you explain again for people without an economics degree? Public company RSUs equals real money when vested. Private company equity equals you have to wait until IPO to get real money. But upside might be higher. Effect at Cloudflare, I think there is a bit of an appetite for effect, especially with what what we were looking at in the beginning of stream, the alchemy run and infrastructure as effects. I think this is really interesting. I think what Sam's doing here is incredibly attractive and interesting. How many millions did your net worth increase by joining Cloudflare? Billions. Audit all. All right, error should be resolved. So we should have, bruh. I'll try restarting the server. to give you the benefit of the doubt here, brother, but I think you're cooked. Use the playwright MCP, that's spelled wrong, whatever, server to verify each page and audit the code. We're still getting errors. What up, Lithium? This is not Omarchi. This is just OSX. If I were running my ThinkPad, I would throw Omarchi on it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. All right, that looks like we fixed the rendering problems. All right, let's create, let's clear, create a login, a login form, a admin page for adding new users. What else do we need? A sign out button? I don't know. For adding new users. Using atomic design. We know we're going to use better auth. So let's go grab what the better auth user type looks like. And we already have a TypeScript type and effect schema started. Database, where's the schema? We might write a durable object adapter for better auth, maybe. Database, adapters. All right, so we have this guy. Let's jump over to our user. Oh, we don't need this. So we have our user ID. We need email verified, which will be schema.boolean. Image. All right. We should just make that string. Let's not overcomplicate things. Okay, that looks good. All right, so we got that created at, updated at. Can I not change what the table names are? Dude, this Lithium, the sofa is so good. I found it on sale at like an, was it an Ashley Furniture? I don't remember. One of the big, chain furniture warehouses, which like 9 times out of 10 buying furniture from those places is the most miserable experience and like it's low quality. But I've got like the perfect find there. All right, we got user. We need a session, an account. You can customize table names and call names for the core scheme by using model name and fields. Okay, so we can remap it there. What is effect? Effect is like a standard library for TypeScript. Using atomic design. An admin page, and components for adding and managing users. I'm not. I'm using, we're building on top of LiveStore. Right now we just have, we're building like a component library, but we're going to be using LiveStore, which, so we're building out a bunch of components. You can see here are, we got all these things. I wonder if you could use Playwright or whatever that screenshots things and have Claude make. You probably could. You probably could. What stops you from using Claude Code in the backend? I always had this dilemma. I just don't enjoy having AI write everything for me. I don't know. I use Claude where I can for stuff I don't want to do. Like if I would have built out this component library by myself, this would have taken me like a month. But like once we start wiring everything up, I'm going to be writing a lot of the code myself. And then sourcing for a family recipe app. I know it sounds wild, but it's actually to get a really good local first experience, and also because I want to learn LiveStore, because LiveStore is built on top of Effect and exposes like a normal async await interface. All right. So we should have, did it not add it to, did you add them to the registry so they render in our design system app? What a bot. There's going to be one recipe on Justine's page called burnt rice. Yeah, we'll add those features, Sally. Ooh, that looks good. That looks nice. We got a nice login form. Okay, we'll take it. I like it. I think it's getting a bit confused on what the difference between organisms and templates are, but like, that's all right.
The world.
We'll take it. All right. That looks pretty good. To vote for a dinner and then fundraise for the ingredients. All right. Let's go look at our actual app now. Let's see here. Boom. Let's update this stuff. Fucking Lewis Snip. What are we updating here? We need to update render. Anything decent? No. Okay, great. So we are rendering components, LiveStore util. We have a root, so we've got this React app. We've got an FPS meter. Cool. Okay. LiveStore worker, great. Main. I don't know why we have that. We can delete this. We can go to app. Yeah, I hear the music. Why? App body section. This is the to-do app. We can start deleting a bunch of these. Queries, we can get rid of. Schema. Okay, util. We can delete this file. Sync back in. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, it's got to be a head move worthy song. Do better. All right, we can delete these. And then we can get rid of these. We can delete this. We've got a store ID, make persistent adapter, K, version badge. I don't care about the FPS meter. We'll keep the FPS meter, why not? Batch updates, store ID, sync payload. What is this thing? Schema.struct shared sync payload schema for this example. It has an auth token, insecure token. And what's the adapter? Make persistent adapter. We have the schema. Okay. All right, so let's make our, where do we have Claude running? I don't think we need, so let's go up, let's delete this, we can get rid of this, and then I do want this thing to get a little bit more organized. Determine the differences between molecules, organisms, and templates in atomic design. Then restructure our components in at design system to follow those practices / principles. I'm gonna copy and paste that again, and then we're gonna move these components over into the app, and then we can start making real pages. Like some of these, like the templates and the organism, like some of it doesn't make any sense, and I think I just nuked the context window. You may do your own research as well. And we'll do a plan. TypeScript makes you so tense. What did you use to build the TUI for chat? I didn't build it. It's a Twitch TUI. It's a program written in Rust by Twitch TUI. I'm not gonna get this name right. I'll just drop the link in chat. All right, let me answer these questions for Claude. So it has One, should viewer components stay separate or move to organisms? Use best practices noted from Atomic Design. I don't know. That's your job. I told you to research this. Create template files or just reorganize existing. You may create new files. Yes. Sure. Thanks, Vishal. All right. No, I'm on the $100 a month cloud plan. All right, so we need to Did Sam Altman get fired? He did like 2 years ago. Oh, is Prime having PewDiePie on? I might, if PewDiePie's going on, I might go watch Prime. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I would enjoy watching that conversation. I don't know what. I don't know what that guy's point is. There's a weed whacker outside my window. Sorry if you guys can hear that. I never believe this. When this happens, that's a fucking lie every single time. I didn't cause these type errors. They were existing. Lies. What type errors exist? They certainly use AI to help, but I don't think holistically, no. Bro, I need this weed whacker to like not be outside my window. Fix them correctly and soundly. All right. I'm sorry, I'm mixing this song. I don't know if somebody requested this. It's too slow. Okay, so I see what's happening here. Nice. Passing off. What are the other options? Revalidate payload inside the durable object when you rely on sync payload. Treat it as untrusted info. Decode the tokens by validate payload to gate the connection, and then repeat the same verification inside the durable object before trusting per push metadata. I prefer probably something closer to writing raw SQL. I like Drizzle's SQL builder. Like I like SQL builders. That's what I'll say. I like SQL builders, not ORMs. But if it's not a good SQL builder, I'd rather just write it by hand. I do not like ORMs. I don't know SQL C off the top of my head. Is that a Rust library or Go or something? Is sure authorized. If this is going to through a worker, what is validate payload? Context. What does make worker have on it? Choose durable, direct RPC communicate between durable objects. Make durable object RPC sync. It's a durable object. We have the binding name, durable object ID, handle sync update. I would hate an AI ORM even more than I hate normal ORMs. It's just so easy to write shitty queries with ORMs. I'm a big believer that 95% of slow applications are because bad data design, bad SQL queries, bad database queries across the board. That's one skill I feel like people don't practice and get good at is data modeling. All right, so let's go back into here. And let's jump over to here. I'm trying to figure out how this exactly works. I don't understand this sync payload. Payload that would be passed to the sync when it connects. That seems to make it so we have to use JWT. Like, is that required, I wonder? And if we go back to like, what does this have on it? Store ID, payload. Session ID, backend ID. Okay, so here at least I could do search params, handle request. Sync payload schema. Validate payload. Context is coming from there. What's on context? Okay. Dot props. Okay. What are we listening to? Guys, this shit is so slow. putting me to sleep. I'm sorry, crowd. Match sync request. Stress the LiveStore sync search parameters. Okay. Handle the sync request. Sync backend. We use the DO. So we could put the session stuff in here. I still don't fully understand the sync payload. Seems to be optional. That's not optional. Headers. That's interesting. I wonder what this thing does with headers. Handle sync request. Let's look at what headers does. Where does it get payload from? Where does payload come from? Is it yielding the payload from somewhere? Bro, am I dumb? Oh, it comes from search params. Got it. Okay. And then what is this doing here? So by not using a JWT, we should use a JWT. It works better here. All right, let's figure out how to set up better auth. Or let's get our login page set up. We might need to bring in React router potentially, or maybe TNStack. Let's see here. What is an ambient? All right. Sure, make worker. All right, we probably need a router. Let's go look here. TNStack router, type yeah, get started. Yeah, okay, I get it. I don't need this block of code. I just want to see how it works. This literally... Like, I haven't... It should not take this hard to find a code snippet. Right? Like, this feels crazy. Decisions on DX. Installation guide. Manual setup. Sure. Are we using Vite? Yeah, we are. All right, I just want routing concepts. Here we go. 10-stack router supports a number of powerful routing concepts that allow you to build complex and dynamic routing systems. These, yep. Other than the root route, all the routes are configured using the create file route function, which provides type safety using file-based routing. The stack is automated and managed by the router. Okay. The root route is the topmost route in the entire tree and encapsulates all of the routes as children. It has no path. It is always matched. Its component is always rendered. To create a root route. All right, let's get this installed. We're using V. So let's install this. We're also using bun. Dash D, throw that in there. Okay, and then we're gonna go up here and we're going to add 10 stack. I want to 10 stack. We can just copy this. Needs to go above React. Grab this. Okay, so we got that done. We got that. Guides. Where's my quick start? Okay. I guess we need to do that too. Okay. Okay, we've done this. So let's do this part. Let's bump this over and give ourselves some more room for code. We want to have till basically right there. Okay. So let's go to here. We can delete that. We can go in here. We've got that deleted. Design system I can just live there for now. And we can do routes. And we need a root .tsx. And I think that root that we have here is going to have to go in there. if we do this, we want to open over here our old root. And this is what I think we want. And I really need to get a custom. Create root route. So down here, I think we can basically copy this. Or actually we can close this. We can even close this. We can just go to oil, up. We can delete this into here, save that, delete that, save that. Oh, that's not what we wanted. I probably just deleted oil. Yeah, I did just delete that. I'm so dumb. No. Chat, we're so dumb. I'm so dumb. Damn. That's okay. I can go grab that from all right, make dir temp. We need to go generate that. I don't know what the difference between these two things is. This would be ghosty. Height, we want 100%. And then we want like, width will be like 75%, maybe closer to like 65%. That's pretty close, right? How we're rocking here. And then we want arc. And that's gonna go over here. That will have 100% height. I think that's right. Create window. What do we want to call this? Ghosty. That's not how you spell it. Ghosty plus arc. Dev mode. Save. Ghosty arc dev mode. Oh, it didn't do what I wanted. It's overlapping. Should they not? They shouldn't be overlapping, should they? Right? If we do that, we run that again. I don't think it actually applied that to arc. What is happening over here? Sometimes Bunx does it, like freezes up. Bun or ghosty. Configure command. So that should be 35. save. So if we have this, let's just do it like ghosty arc dev mode. There we go. That feels pretty good. That looked like it worked. See you, Voffy. But what is this thing doing? MPX maybe? Bunix is not working. Speaking of a bun, I really want to like Deno because of the doc test and native TypeScript registry. Man, it's like finding a worse Rust. I haven't used Deno yet. I haven't heard much from Deno recently. All right, so let's vim in here. We want to go to root, and this is what we wanted to copy. So we can change our ghosty arc dev mode a little bit. Command K, configure command. How do I get the edit command? This can change a little bit smaller, so we can go probably 60 and make that 40. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, that might have been perfect. That's pretty close to being perfect. You can probably go a little bit. Command. You can probably do like 61, 39. 39 was my football number. Let's go, chat. Yeah, this is exactly what we want. Nice. All right, let's take this and we're going to jump back over here. We're going to paste this in here. We can get rid of that. You can get rid of all this because we're going to re-import that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. We can re-import this. Re-import this. We can re-import that. Sync payload, re-import that. We got rid of that. Guess we can keep the version badge. And we can get rid of these. Let's jump over to our version badge. What does this thing do? Oh, it's just saying the LiveStore version. Yeah, we don't need that actually. We do want this though. You can delete that. All right, so we have root. And now let's go back to here. And in here we want to say export const route equals create root route. And it takes component. We'll say app And we'll just rename this to root layout. To be fair to Deno though, blah, Ryan Dahl is the one working on it. And you can't really discard that. Let's see here. That's fine for now. We need an outlet. Where does the outlet come from? Yeah, we want outlet. So let's bring in, we don't really want this app body here. We want the outlet component outlet. And that should come from, yeah, good. What is this thing? Okay. And then we can make an index. And let's actually, before we put in the LiveStore stuff, let's just make sure we can like even get a app rendered. So let's ignore that. We'll say const root layout is going to be this component that just renders we can return here, and we'll just do a div, and we'll just say h1 hello world, and then we'll put an outlet here, format that, and then this will get our root layout. And then in index, we will export const route equals create file route. File route. And that takes slash, and then it takes a curried function, and it's going to take a component. And we can just come do this for now. Just like p index. What? Oh, we have to register this. I want to take this guy, and that's going to go in ambient. There we go. Module TANStack router has no exported member create file route. Does that not go in ambient? Oh, it generates for me. Okay. Sure. So theoretically, if I do bun run build, Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, we create a router. Route tree. And the router, we can take this. In fact, we should just basically paste that there. And then we can yoink you. And this is going to be React app. And we have to, we can just do React.
Functions describe the world.
Okay, fine. All right, so that should start our app, right? We should be able to run build now. Okay. Everyone dev. Hello world index. All right, we got routing working. There we go. So the next thing I want to do is I want to look at in our design systems. They should be using Tailwind v4. Let's make sure. Where's Tailwind? Yeah, we are. Oh no, it's on 3.4.17. No. All right, that's fine. We'll have Claude upgrade. Let's create a plan. Clear any context here. What is my working directory? That's fine. Let's go down to design system. Actually, let's go Claude to here. And we'll say, create a plan to upgrade Tailwind to v4, ensuring there are 0 regressions. There's probably some Tailwind migration guide. I'm sure there's official docs on this we can hand off to. Here we go. Give this to Claude. Go create a plan, buddy. So I'm thinking about how I want to store authentication. I think I want a global table, a global store of users. Like this gets into the world of like durable objects and like partitioning and stuff. Where I think we're gonna want, what does Johanna suggest on auth? We store the session in the user's durable object. On validate payload, we get the auth token, we get the user from the token. We do check user access. Check user access probably throws. We validate the payload inside the durable object. We get the sync payload. Yeah. We verify the JWT. If you say JWT is JOT, you're dead to me. Okay, so this is on push. I wonder if push can take... Oh, it can take a promise or effect. Let's go, chat. That means we could bring in, like, ensure tenant access, replace the... Okay. Dude, it's in the official spec. I'm not even joking. Hold on, let me get help Claude here. I don't... just build it. All right. The official JWT spec. Look at this. This is the dumbest thing. Introduction. The suggested pronunciation of JWT is the same as the English word jot. The worst sentence ever added to a freaking web RFC, dude. Makes me so mad. Support tailwind CSS animate v4 or the v4 equiv. Maybe, I don't know. You figure it out. It's your research. Just focus on upgrading to v4. What does it mean? If we look up the definition here, search, look up jot. Write something down. I gotta jot that down. Yeah, that makes sense. Here we go. So this is cool. So we might be able to use this secondary storage for going to a durable object, and then we can store the user, the other tables in like a shared store maybe, or like D1. Potentially. All right, come on, Claude. Get cooking. We really could make some adapters pretty easily. I've got like a bunch of ideas, like swirling in my head here. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. Aiden made Keesley D1. Yeah. All right. Yeah, go forth, buddy. How is this not slow? Oh, the music playing? I mean, it kind of is. We'll skip this one. All right, we'll listen to this. Bro, just cook, Claude. I don't know. It's part of Spotify. I'm still trying to completely understand how multiple stores work and how stores shared across users works. So contain the LiveStore web worker. Yeah. Add the LiveStore provider. All right, this all makes sense. So we have client A, push pull, sync handler. Where was the guide Johannes had on like multiple stores? It was with workspaces. Here we go. Each workspace is initially created by a single user. Users can join the workspace. Okay, let's see here. Two kinds of stores with respective event logs and SQLite databases. That's what we want. The workspace store and the user store. We have the workspace store, one per workspace, and then we have the user store, one per user. That's what we want. This is similar to what we want. Note that the workspace create event is used both in the workspace and the user store. This is because each event log should be self-sufficient. Yeah. Okay, this makes sense. This will be deployed to Cloudflare, yeah. I believe each store is its own durable object. I think that's how it works under the covers. User table, tables.user list, table to track workspaces this user is part of. So that's like the join table. How does this get scoped to just a single user? I don't understand that. I want to see more code for this. Like, does this have an example? All right, so here, okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense what's happening here. Schema, this looks like it might be shared then. Router, get router store registry. I have no idea what store registry is. Oh, this is gonna be like a context that lets you get the various stores out of the using context maybe. That doesn't matter. Routes, root. Root document, LiveStore, multiple LiveStore. This is exactly what we want. Where does this store registry? Router context. Okay, that's fine. Okay. How about index? Create file route. We get a loader. I assume this is like people are mowing outside. I'm so sorry. Route, store registry provider. We use store. What is that thing? Workspace store options. Is that just bad naming? It's possible that's just bad naming. Stores, workspace. Store options. No, that is correct. So this must be like this must create a React context type thing, or where does this come from? React? Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. I'm assuming loader is a server-side render thing. So we get the store. This makes sense. This is making sense. I'm starting to see how this comes together. Oh, Schickling. Johannes is here. I'll be here for 20 minutes or so. Let me know if you have any pressing questions. Yeah, I am exploring multiple stores because I like this idea. I like the idea of having some state that is kind of global in a store and shared, right? And then I like this idea of store scope to a user, and this matches like my mental model of durable objects and sharding DOs. So I'm kind of just like working through in my head how I want to map the needed better off database schema to this model. Johannes, do you know if there's a open source library or tool for syncing a subset of data from D1 to a durable object? Like I want to there's a lot of application architectures where I would want to have a bunch of global state accessible in one D1 database, but then I would like to pool a subset of that data into a durable object for fast reads and writes, and then replicate the local SQLite in the durable object back to D1 on some alarm schedule. And I can, like, the trade-off there obviously being eventual consistency. Like, there's a lot of instances where I'm okay with that eventual consistency. I might build something like that because it's effectively like doing something like LightStore or Terso, right? Like it's similar. Like in it's syncing, right? I mean, maybe you could even use LiveStore for that. Maybe no, you would need a different database. Can I plug LiveStore into? Maybe you could. Hold on. Hold on. I'm getting myself fucking down rabbit holes that I don't need to go down right now. Okay, so we got this migrated. Let's make sure this is running. Bun dev. And then we're gonna, as long as this migrated to Tailwind 4, this does not look correct. Out the rip. This does not look right. Something does not look right. So let's say, we'll come back in here, Claude, continue. A lot of the theme colors / styles were lost. Fix. Update Vite. 5.4.2. What is the newest version of Vite? 7.1.2. Okay, we can do that. All right, hopefully that's an easy fix. This multi-source stuff does seem pretty nice though. It seems like exactly what I want. I specifically want to use LiveStore. Blah. This is an exercise in learning LiveStore more so than anything else. And this is going to use this store. Yep. Yeah. Okay. This makes sense. I still do need to figure out auth though. So far, it seems good. I haven't used it obviously yet. Bun dev. Like I'm almost at the point where I can actually start writing code. We've got colors are still broken, dog. Getting closer. Quad colors still appear to not be working. Theme colors and possibly more. I need to check my context window. Man, I wish this would have used Tailwind 4 up front. I might be able to, I don't know. Somewhere around here. That's hilarious. The issue is that components use classes like, but Tailwind doesn't know about these custom colors. In BC, they were defined colors in the theme block. It's gonna kill itself with context right now. What's up, John? Now I understand. Holy shit. Yeah, I know. Dude, I swear, AI is so bad sometimes. How do I get I want the other view feed. I actually like the GitHub feed. I know that's a not popular opinion, but I find the feed to be very useful because I follow people I actually care to follow. Like add dev tools page. Look at that. We got a new dev tools page on effect. I wish. I wonder if it deployed. It's got to deploy instantly, right? Where would this go? DevTools. Here we go. Are all... All right, let's look. Do we believe the bot? I don't know if I believe the bot. The bot looks to be wrong. Bruh, you're not. All right, hold on here. I forgot to git init all of this, so we're kind of cooked. Oh no, I didn't. Git status. We probably have the ref log too. Okay. How can I fix this? I can go here. I want to also, hold on, Claude, continue. And we're going to check the context quick. It's probably so cooked. The context is probably so cooked right now. Yeah, dude. You can compact, at least. Well, that's cooking. Cloudflare worker index. Johannes, are you still here? These on push and pull, are these mandatory keys for make durable object? They are. Okay, cool. I wish compaction didn't take so long. All right, so when we're looking at multi-store, where do the stores get registered? We have the store registry. This preloads. I wonder if it's the preload. That must be a server-side thing. Multi-instance router. Yeah. Dude, please never rely on compaction. Always starting a chat. Compaction is really bad. Okay. We'll redo that. We are working on migrating from Tailwind V3 to V4 and
the gospel
some styles.
of the camel. I speak the gospel of the dunes.
Styles around our
sand is in my veins.
are super
Come ride a camel with me today.
Super broken. Please debug and create a plan to fix. Here's what the UI currently looks like. I don't know what's on my clipboard. Image one. Let me see if I have Claude MCP list. Why? It should have the playwright. Claude MCP. Sure. So now Claude has that. Use the playwright MCP server to aid debugging.
Functions
Ultra thing.
describe the world.
And we're gonna make it plan. All right, now let's figure out how these stores get registered while that thing's cooking over here. We define our stores under there. We have our router. We have this store registry. We stick that in a context. That makes sense. Components. I want to look at the root again. Get the store registry there. What do we just do with the store registry in here? Oh, it's just for types. Okay. What is chained? Oh, this just must be store registry. provider. The inner store waits on data from the... But still suspends independently to keep loading isolated. Okay, that makes sense. Independent. Store registry. Store registry. Okay. Index. We already looked at this. So the index preloads the workspace. Store options. Okay. Ah, this is interesting. Demonstrates multiple instances of a single store type sharing one suspense boundary. Each issue still owns an isolated store instance keyed by its store ID. That's interesting. Where do you issue IDs? This is recursive, isn't it? And this takes preload issues, store registry. Is there like a hover or a mouse down on mouse enter preload issues? Smart. I don't know how GC time works. All right, we'll figure that out in a second. I think Igor has aligned the API design similar to TNSEC query, which is a similar concept. Yeah. No, I think this is decent. Or the GC time comes from TNSEC query. TNSEC query GC time. Do we trust Gemini? Determines how long a query's data remains in the cache after the query becomes inactive. I wonder why they chose... Yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. I don't know if I would have used GC time. I think I would have used time to live and time to stale. I feel like would have been a better naming. Like, C sharp or C++? F sharp. Followed by Rust. Yeah, I will. I'd want to read more research. I'd want to read like or even talk to Tanner on like how they landed on GC time and how they landed on like stale time makes sense. Let me just go create a gist. New live store feedback. Okay, sure. Multi-store API. Let's just say question to GC time plus stale time, inspired by TanStack. Research how these came to be and why not something like time to live and time TTL, TTS, time to stale, time to live, time to like refresh, revalidate, time to, it's like time till, right? Time to be like time till. Okay, I see why naming is hard. All right. Yeah. I've got that down, dog. I was just spitballing on names. I don't think this worked. Undev. What is in this tab? All right, great. This thing like totally cooked our theme. It is still not working, dog. Claude. It is still not working. And applying the theme. Use Playwright MCP to debug. Don't be dilly-dallying. Yeah, we accidentally cooked our design system here, trying to upgrade. What are we listening to?
Functions describe the world. Functions describe the world.
Did somebody request this? No. All right, we're skipping. All right, nobody requested anything. All right, we're just going to my liked songs because like this is shit. The good news is like all the styles should be like the Tailwind classes should help inform what should be happening here. This is good. The Playwright MCP server is like one of the only MCP servers I get any value out of. Does this actually work in one terminal npx Astro Dev? Yeah. Yeah, I exposed a site the other day with Cloudflare tunnels like that. Yeah, Cloudflare tunnels are pretty sick. There's a tool built on top of Cloudflare tunnels or ngrok, I forget which, to expose Claude code so you can like vibe code from your phone. Let me see if I can find it. Tunnel. Shit. Vibe tunnel. Vibe tunnel. Everybody else does. Vibe tunnel proxies your terminals right into the browser so you can vibe code anywhere. Of course, again, by the Vienna crew. What's the Vienna crew? I don't understand. The guys who built this are from my hood. Nice. Oh, maybe it doesn't use Cloudflare tunnels. These are your boys, Sebastian? A beautiful Frankenstein. I love it. Teamwork, Claude, and caffeine. Yo, I gotta meet these guys at some point. They seem awesome. Get them to come to Effect Days. What should I talk about at Effect Days? I still might try to do like a talk with like the rest of the domains team. I'll be hosting an Effect meetup in Vienna on the 18th. We can Effect Pill, Ironman. I've yet to see a really talented developer write Effect and not get Effect Pilled, even if they don't end up using it in prod. They get the value of it pretty quickly. Oh yeah, you see you can power it with Cloudflare tunnel. Yo, what is happening over here, Claude? Claude is truly
Functions
struggling.
describe the world.
Thank you for the follow, Project Coder. I think I'm gonna install this on my Raspberry Pi and just have like Claude Code on the go. This is so cool. This is like one of the coolest things I've seen for a while. Oh my god, what are you doing, bro? What do you guys think about this? I don't understand this response right here. I don't want an Ask AI button in every application I use. I want Command K and good tab index practices. I agree with this so much. Like, put the AI integration in like Command K. And I don't, this feels like a L take. Like who, 99 point gives want it. Cope. Fucking cope. Oh, blocks the top tweet. Right. Let me go find it again. Here. Hi, how hard was the interview to join Purcell? Purcell's interview process isn't bad, it's just long. Like there's a lot of stages. So it generally goes like, phone screen, talk to the hiring manager, and then you do a live code. Most of the live code interviews aren't super bad. Like I'd put them like they're they're not super leak codey. They have elements of leak code, but like they're not explicitly leak code. Um, and at least the way I grade them is I'm not looking for somebody to have the perfect O1 solution, right? Like, or whatever the perfect algorithm. I want to hear you talk about trade-offs. I want to hear you explore the problem and suss it out and get a good feel for the constraints. I want to see you iterate on your solution as you hit edge cases. Then there is like a system design interview, which is just a typical sys design question. There is a sometimes there is this kind of it's not necessarily a live code, but it's like you have like a hour and a half or 2 hours to build a API and a front end to it, and you can choose where you want to spend your time and like polish things depending on the role you're coming into. And what else do we have? I guess conversation with like engineering exec, and that's mostly it. The hardest part about getting a job at Vercel is getting the interview because so many people apply. Most engineers at Vercel are referrals from other employees or specifically recruited by the company. That's not like 100% everybody. Like people still get hired through normal like recruiting pipelines, but that surely contributes to the talent density. All right, so this is saying it's working. I'm a little bit skeptical still. What are we on? 5179. 5179. Aha, this is looking better. Yes, look at this chat. This is beautiful. Okay, tooltip. I don't think the tooltips work. Ah, it is. Let's look at some of these. We've got our theme back. Hell yeah, brother. There we go. This is what our components should look like. Great. Carousel's broken though. Claude's got like so many servers going right now. Port, look at all these. Kill. All right. Great. Let's go ahead and just do like a git commit tailwind v4. Then let's go up 2 directories, and we're going to tell Claude to create a plan to copy over the tailwind v4 theme integration and components from at design system into our main app. We will then move our design system to a new page in our core LiveStore / TanStack router app. UltraThink. What up, dude? I'm digging the work on the multi-store stuff. I'm hopefully gonna get into that. Probably not today because I'm gonna wrap up in like 15 minutes. But I've got a good sense of your vision for it and kind of how it works. I'll have more feedback later, probably tomorrow and into the rest of the week for sure. I've just got like I've basically been spending the past couple days just like kind of figuring out the basics of LiveStore and then also building out a component library that I want to use. I do want to make the nutrition facts look better. This is kind of a boring component. Yeah, will do, dude. All right, so we've got some good stuff here. As someone with tons of experience, did you have to do LeetCode stuff for your Cloudflare role? I was reached out directly and specifically hired for the Cloudflare role, so like I didn't go through the normal hiring process and channels. But I have some friends right now who are going through it, and they've said it's not bad. It's kind of like Vercel, where there's like a lot of steps, but overall, like it's reasonable. All right, this thing's cooking. Yeah, this is I've gotten 2 jobs without having to go through interview processes because of knowing people and my existing work. That's why like building in public and writing and tweeting about your work and doing like putting it on your GitHub can be so important. And like conference speaking has done so much for me. So we'll say remove 2, remove 3, remove 4, delete, and 5, preserve mock data. To ensure components keep rendering correctly. Bro, what are they doing outside? Sorry for the ambient noise, chat. I'm sure that's really annoying. Oh, that's sick. Dude, their stuff is so good. Sebastian, are you here, or Mattia? Anyone from the effect team here? Yeah, I think it's really good so far, dude. It makes a lot of sense to me. It took me a second. I haven't used TanStack Query. So I didn't really understand what GC time was doing. Then I realized that was the time to live. But that was the only thing I got confused about. I was looking at one thing that confused me, and this might just be a function of the router, is it's weird to me that I don't register the stores anywhere until I use them. Like, I kind of expected I would kind of expected to have the stores to be able to register here, but I guess it also makes sense to like lazily sync them and not instantiate them until they're needed, possibly. I'm assuming that's what's happening. Like, where's components? The lazy part is key. Okay, so yeah, that is why it's happening. Like, I assume when use store is called and it gets the options, if it hasn't, we'll suspend component if the store is not yet. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. There's a lot of good lessons in here in this tiny example for even like sharding, like durable objects, like how you're basically creating a different store for, well, I guess this is even tied to Cloudflare, but every individual issue gets its own store. It's clever. Isn't it funny how making computations lazy buys you so much in terms of composition and like good DX? What is OPFS? Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I have never heard of this. How long, dude? I've never heard of this API. Why is there not a uh, there should be a origin private file system uh, layer for file system in the browser for effect, right? Am I crazy? That seems like a good idea. Like for platform. Effect small. Igor, do you know when they're planning on releasing Effect 4? Do you know of any like tentative release date? But I've been working on. Hell yeah, dude. This is sick. I want to look at oops. Dude, why is GitHub so slow? Jared, hurry up, please. I like that. Man, this is such nice effect code, dude. Dude, Effect's so good. I freaking love Effect. All right, and you linked me to a specific file. All right, we just listened to this song. We're not doing this again. No, this is like really clean code, dude. This is really good. This is so sick. My mind's like blown. I did not know about this API. And then the immediate thing that I wanted it for, you're already working on. I like, this is so sick. So sick. I want to watch this PR. This is so cool. All right, let's close that, close that. Yeah, you should honestly merge it into open a PR against Effect 3 and Effect 4 for merging it into platform browser. Like real talk. God, I hate JavaScript tooling. I just want to get the shit set up. Claude's cooking itself. Let's see what the effect team's been cooking recently. Oh no, that's never what you want to see. The directory was deleted before we copied the files. That's never what you want to see AI say. We might be cooked, chat. Good thing we committed. Did it recover? Do we think it actually succeeded? I'm a little skeptical. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little worried here, Claude. Source, components, atoms. All right, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, so then if we go to routes, we should have design system. Is this how 10-stack router works? Yeah, I okayed it, to be clear. So I'm responsible. I get it. Bun run dev. All right, that's what we would expect there. we can come here and we can say /design system not found. What was the come on, there we go. Vim, it should be at source routes /design system, and it should render this page. So if let's get rid of that and we do /. I think this is probably me just not understanding possibly me not understanding TanStack. All right, so we don't find it there. Not found there. What am I doing? Did we not set up the router correctly? Route tree. Route tree gets generated from here. The route tree has /design system. This should be good. Full path /design system. Yoink. That's like the path. All right. Why would that not be working? How do we debug this? Let's make sure there's not any random ports. Okay, that has a tick, so it could be the tick. Nope. Not found. Network. Where's my refresh? Oh. Not found. Why would that not be found? It's suspicious, right? Check my vconfig. Yeah, good luck. TanStack router. That seems okay. God, so many dependencies. The fuck is vol? we might be missing the Tailwind plugin. Add Tailwind CSS V. No, that comes from Tailwind. We're not hitting my route at design system, which it should hit this page here, but it's not. Even though if we look at this source and we look at main, we register our router, our route tree looks good here. Root route children. We should have the design system. Like this should work. When I go to, like that should just work. But we're not seeing it. So let's have our good boy Claude come out here. Claude. We'll just start over. I don't even know. The index route is. We are seeing the index route work. I think. Yeah, hello world index is showing up as not found. Debug. Interesting. Oh, it's not SSRing. No shit. I thought that should be SSRing. Yeah, whatever, that's fine. That makes sense in retrospect. Command K, SSR. Set this up to SSR. Don't worry about the Cloudflare piece. Don't worry about Cloudflare for now. No, I set this up with create LiveStore. So I'm gonna probably have to do some bullshit here. Latest docs framework guide. Is that where I'm at? Framework guide, SSR. Yeah. I don't know. I'll ask it. Just do dev only. Dev only v. We'll do that. And then we can eventually adapt this for Cloudflare. Why is it installing Express again? Yo, AI pisses me off. You should not need Express. The dev server is all you should need. Wait, what is this thing doing? This thing is an idiot. All right, we're gonna see if this works, and if it doesn't, I mean, regardless, I'm gonna wrap up here. I meant to wrap up 20 minutes ago. Client navigation works in a browser router, but refreshing returns to HTML, which. All right, so it says it's working. We can figure this ish out and get it right tomorrow. All right, so that worked. Index. Now, how about design system? Not found. Listen, I love Svelte. Means something is handling the request. What's our dev script doing? Vite. We can get rid of, I'll have it audit dependencies. That makes sense. We see that. And then in here, I would expect to see this render. Do I need to get rid of? Yeah, right here. I think it added it on its own, no? Yeah, it's adding it on its own. Because there's like this child I could try to get rid of this for a second. I can try here. Still not found. What's your take about AI in 5 years? No. Look, AI's got us into this situation we're in right now. It's cooked. All right. I gotta go take care of some other stuff today. So I'll probably try to get this fixed before I stream tomorrow. And we'll jump into actually implementing auth. All right, y'all. Have a lovely day. Igor, it's good catching up with you, dude.